Breaking news! The Baltimore Ravens just did something many fans have been begging for and others never imagined would happen. A play so unexpected, so shocking, that it's already having a huge impact on the NFL. It changes everything, the direction of the team, Lamar Jackson's future, and the very identity of the franchise. But here's the point, this wasn't just any play. It was personal, strategic, ruthless, and it happened faster than anyone could have predicted. But before we analyze what really happened, don't forget to like this post if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting the team. And if you want, comment, "Go Ravens," below. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, and your voice matters now more than ever. Owner Steve Bisciotti didn't just allow Harbaugh to walk away, he fired him. In a statement that was as bold as it was definitive, Bisciotti said he alone made the decision and directly informed Harbaugh that his time was up. No PR-friendly mutual parting of ways. No sugarcoating. Just a cold, calculated move to shake up an organization that, for years, has flirted with greatness but failed to consistently deliver in the postseason. And for a franchise that claims its goal is to win championships, enough was finally enough. Now, this wasn't just some knee-jerk reaction. Bisciotti had clearly been watching, listening, evaluating, not just this season but the years leading up to it. He referenced a comprehensive evaluation of the season and the team's overall direction. And for many fans, this moment has been building for years. The frustration with Harbaugh wasn't about regular season wins. It was about the same playoff heartbreaks, the same predictable collapses, the same lack of adjustment, year after year. What made this even more shocking was how quickly it happened. According to Jeff Zrebiec, as of midday, many within the Ravens organization thought Harbaugh would return. But a meeting between him and Bisciotti shifted everything. It was swift, so swift, in fact, that Harbaugh didn't even get a chance to inform his own coaching staff. Team President Sashi Brown and GM Eric DeCosta had to deliver the news for him. That's how fast things changed. That's how serious Bisciotti was about turning the page. And make no mistake, this wasn't easy. Bisciotti acknowledged Harbaugh's impact over 18 years. He praised his integrity, his leadership, his connection to the community. And he should. Harbaugh brought a Super Bowl to Baltimore. He helped shape the identity of the franchise. But in the end, results matter. And when the results stop matching the talent and the expectations, change becomes inevitable. Let's not forget how many times the Ravens came up short in the most critical moments. Zay Flowers fumbling at the one. Missed field goals. Drops by veterans like Mark Andrews. 4th and 12 disasters against the Bengals. The pattern became undeniable. Year after year, the Ravens would enter the postseason with hope, only to exit with excuses. And when the same failures happen with different players, there's only one place left to look, the head coach. Fans have been calling for this change for years, but 2025 felt different. The anger, the exhaustion, it reached new levels. The national media, which once gave Harbaugh a pass, finally started to catch on. Even Lamar Jackson, usually quick to defend coaches and teammates, gave a non-answer when asked about Harbaugh's future. That silence said everything. And maybe, just maybe, Bisciotti heard it loud and clear. It's the question that's been looming in every conversation since the news broke. If not Harbaugh, then who? Because while the firing was long overdue in the eyes of many, replacing a coach who's been the face of your franchise for 18 years is no small task. But here's the twist. This isn't a rebuilding job. This is one of the most desirable head coaching vacancies in the NFL, and potential suitors are already lining up. In fact, according to Harbaugh's agent Brian Harlan, within just 45 minutes of the announcement, 7 teams had already expressed interest in hiring him. That speaks volumes about Harbaugh's reputation league-wide, but it also raises the stakes for the Ravens. If Harbaugh is in demand, that means his replacement must be even better. Baltimore can't afford to miss here. And the timing? Absolutely critical. Other teams are already requesting interviews. Candidates like Brian Flores, Robert Saleh, Clint Kubiak, and even former Ravens DC Mike McDonald, now leading the Seahawks to a #1 seed, are hot commodities. The Ravens couldn't afford to wait and risk missing out on a coach who could elevate this already talented roster. They had to act fast, and they did. The real allure of this job? Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP, still in his prime, and finally surrounded by playmakers like Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry. Any coach walking into this situation doesn't have to start from scratch. This isn't a rebuild. This is a retool. A new leader could walk into the building tomorrow and immediately contend, because that's how good this roster is when properly led. And let's not overlook what this move means for Lamar himself. For the first time in his career, he'll play under a head coach not named John Harbaugh. That alone could open up entirely new dimensions to his game. We saw what happened when he finally escaped Greg Roman's outdated schemes, MVP. Now imagine what he could do with a modern-minded head coach who builds a system around his unique skill set. A coach who challenges him, empowers him, and puts him in position to win when it matters most. And that's the point, winning when it matters most. That's what's been missing. Not talent, not potential, but postseason success. You look around the league, at Andy Reid in Kansas City, Sean McVay in LA, Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, and the common denominator is adaptability. innovation, aggressiveness. Those were not hallmarks of the Harbaugh era, especially in its later years. The league evolved, and Baltimore didn't keep up. But now, they have a chance to reset. Still, the concerns are real. Change can be uncomfortable. There's risk in the unknown. And for all his flaws, Harbaugh provided stability. He was the steady hand, the culture guy, the player's coach. That kind of presence isn't easy to replicate. And that's exactly why Bisciotti's next move has to be calculated, precise, and above all, bold. There's no room for safe hires. No more coasting on old philosophies. Baltimore needs a visionary. And let's be honest, the Ravens have a history of loyalty. Sometimes to a fault. From players to staff, they've often held on longer than they should. So the fact that Bisciotti finally pulled the trigger signals something much deeper than just a coaching change. It's a philosophical shift. It's the front office finally admitting what fans have known for years, that this team, with all its talent, has underachieved. But what does the future actually look like? Will they target a young offensive mind to maximize Lamar's prime years? Will they lean on someone with head coaching experience to stabilize the transition? Or could they shock everyone with a bold, outside-the-box hire? Whatever the decision, one thing is clear, this is a defining moment not just for the Ravens, but for Bisciotti himself. Because make no mistake, this wasn't DeCosta's decision. This wasn't the result of a mutual conversation. This was Bisciotti stepping in and saying, enough. For better or worse, he's putting his fingerprint directly on the future of this franchise. And he knows the stakes. Ravens fans are hungry. The Super Bowl window is open. The pieces are in place. There's no turning back now. What makes this entire situation even more fascinating is the reaction from inside the building, and just how sudden everything came crashing down. According to reports, as of earlier that very same day, multiple people within the Ravens believed Harbaugh would be returning. Even members of the staff were caught off guard. It wasn't just unexpected, it was abrupt. Steve Bisciotti didn't wait for anyone's approval. This wasn't a front office consensus. This was the owner himself, taking full control, making a call that many thought he'd never have the guts to make. That tells you how serious this was. Bisciotti's statement wasn't vague, it wasn't diplomatic. He said, in no uncertain terms, I decided to make a change. He didn't hide behind corporate phrasing. He didn't soften the blow with the usual mutual parting of ways. He relieved Harbaugh of his duties, plain and simple. That level of transparency is rare in today's NFL, and it only underscores how monumental this decision truly is. And think about this, Harbaugh didn't even get to tell his coaching staff himself. Team President Sashi Brown and GM Eric DeCosta had to deliver the news. That speaks volumes. After 18 years, after a Super Bowl, after hundreds of games, the end came so fast that the coach himself didn't get a chance to say goodbye in person. That's how sudden, and likely emotional, this decision was. But it's not just about endings, it's about beginnings. Because as much as this was the closing of a chapter, it's also the start of something new. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, the Ravens will bring in a new head coach. And as we've seen across the league, fresh leadership can change everything. Look at teams like the Texans with DeMeco Ryans, the Bears under Ben Johnson, the Jaguars under Liam Cohen. New head coaches have flipped entire franchises in just one season. Why can't the Ravens be next? So now, Ravens flock, it's your turn. What kind of coach do you want? Who do you believe can bring this talented roster to the promised land? Let us know in the comments.